Today's show is sponsored by the ABV Barrel Shop. The ABV Barrel Shop is located in the St. Louis metro community of Arnold, Missouri, and is the world's first single barrel only liquor store. This business is owned and operated by Steve Akeley and Jim Fosnot. Head over to abvbarrelshop.com to sign up for their email and text distribution list. That way you'll know what they have in stock, what classes are coming up, and what barrel picks they have in the works. We are also sponsored by The Bar to Go. The Bar to Go offers a fully customizable carrying case that allows you to take your favorite distilled spirits or cocktail ingredients with you. Whether you're looking for yourself, a customized gift, or logo items for your business or event, The Bar to Go can help. Check them out at thebar2go.com. Use the number 2 when you type out The Bar to Go. Did you know Neely Family Distillery now ships its popular distilled spirits directly to you? To order, simply call 859-394-3258. Tell them the ABV Network sent you. And now, on to the show.
Let's drink!
Welcome to the Bourbon Daily, the podcast about everything bourbon delivered to you every day of the week. Today on the show, we discuss interesting people in bourbon. My name is McNew. Please join me in welcoming my co-host, Steve Akeley, along with our special guests, Tim Swaya and Ryan Thompson.
Hey, gang, what's up?
Hey, guys.
What's up, guys?
Hey, how we doing? Good. So we're going to be talking about just interesting people in bourbon. Should be a fun topic. We'll see who the group comes up with. I can't wait to hear what your answers are. And of course, I've always got a bunch of people I'd like to talk about as well. Tim is going to be doing small talk. But before we get to that, I've got the bonus small talk because I don't know, we're getting a lot of new listeners and they seem to like the small talk as much as the show. So a bonus small talk's just fine. So who raise your hands here? Who here is coffee drinkers? So just Tim and I.
I actually just started this past about 6 months ago. After 46 years of living on this earth, I decided it was time to drink some coffee.
No to McNew.
So I found these canned mushroom coffees. Like, they don't taste like coffee. They're really, really good.
Okay.
But they're cold. They're cold. Like, you keep them in the fridge.
Cold coffee.
I like them.
That still counts.
But they're made out of mushrooms.
Were your parents coffee drinkers, McNew?
My dad was, but like in the most redneck way possible. Like, he liked that, like Folgers.
Folgers crystals, sure.
Yeah,
sure. That's a big time coffee fan there. I'm thinking about opening a bourbon shop that appeals to just Folgers coffee crystal drinkers. So yeah,
that's hardcore.
Part of the bourbon thing we're doing. So yeah. So my question for our coffee drinkers, which McNew is that not the most spilled drink that of anything you guys drink? I spill more goddamn coffee. I don't know why I spill coffee so much. I spill coffee. I don't spill bourbon. It's not like I knock bourbon. I knock my coffee. Do you guys knock your coffee over or not?
You know, I mean, Steve, it makes sense. You're having most of your coffee probably in the morning, right? So you're still waking up. You're not really fully aware of everything going on. So it's okay to spill coffee every now and again.
Tim, you spill your coffee sometimes?
I'll say a point of order on this one. So if you consider spilling your coffee when you're pouring it every morning, that's a yes, because somehow I miss the cup so that's part of it. Yeah. And then I don't feel so bad. I don't sound like spilling bourbon. I think that would be alcohol abuse. Yeah. But spilling coffee, I spill it there. I'm pretty darn good in the car and everything like that because I'm wearing dress clothes all the time. And I've done it once where I ended up blowing my whole entire cup of coffee all over myself walking into the office.
Yeah. I had one of those once in a suit too.
Yeah. What are you going to do? That's not a good way to start the day.
Oh, no. Go ahead.
I would say I've got a rival drink for you on that one after thinking about it.
What do you spill more of?
I would have to go with apple juice because if you start adding in all the freaking kids out there and everything, I see Ryan's looking at me like, "What are you talking about? He doesn't have kids."
Ryan doesn't have kids.
Like urine. It's all over the house with the kids. So outside of coffee for adults, once you're above age 2, then I say it's coffee. Below that, I think apple juice is probably the most spilled drink.
I had my latest coffee spilling incident at the office today. Jim works in the office, and I work out on the sales floor, and I spill the coffee, and I yell. Jim does this; he overhears me. I'm not yelling for him or anything. When I yell "fuck," I'm not. If I want to address Jim, I'll be like, "Jim, fuck you," or "Jim, fuck." But I just say "fuck." I'm not addressing you, but he, what? What happened? And I'm like, so I think, you know what? He wants to get involved in this. I said, I'm hurt. And then I hear his chair gently slide back. I hear him click the mouse, so he's closing out whatever porn he's looking at, and then he comes strolling out, and he says, "Wait, I thought you were hurt because I would just clean up fucking coffee. No, I spilled my coffee. I didn't want you all. And by the way, if I'm hurt, you come running out, right? If I yell I'm hurt and I'm really hurt, and you think I'm hurt, you come running out, right?
Clearly not. Clearly not."
It's so
Most
frustrating.
people
You should have like Steve on the ground. I've fallen and I can't get up. Here's Jim strolling out the door.
Oh yeah, strolling out the door, porn closed down. Oh, I'm going to close this in case he comes walking in here. I don't want him to see this.
But Steve, what if you're like really hurt, and it looks like, it was intentional and the police come, you got to close your shit out. Like, you can't have people in there. He's thinking ahead.
I don't know. I guess that's what he was thinking, I assume. So I don't know.
It's Steve, just look at it this way, man. It was a good trial run. Now you know where he lies if you're
right. Yeah. I got to get my phone order. Yeah, call someone else. Jim's not going to help me. Yeah.
Just immediately 911. Just skip Jim. You don't need him.
Yeah.
Spreadsheets, paperwork, porn, Akeley. There it is.
That's his order. Yeah. So, Tim, you did say there's something fishy you want to talk about. That was just a bonus one for
That was a bonus one. That was a good one.
Yeah.
So Steve's the reason why we have Caution Coffee's Hot on the lids of all of our coffees now when we buy from our local proprietors. That's good.
Yeah.
So it recently snowed up here. We had a little winter storm warning and everything like that, and I was snow blowing my driveway.
Sounds terrible. Yeah.
Yes, it's awful, Steve. Yeah, it's the thing. The difference between Chicago and St. Louis right now is about 30 degrees. So I'm snow blowing the driveway, and I just dawned on me. I'm going through this monotonous thing. I do the same pattern every single time, and I'm like, But I know if I do this pattern on my driveway that I know where I'm 50% done, then 75% done, and then I know when I'm done. So I'm like, okay, good. I'm in the home stretch. Like, do you do anything similar or have any other behaviors that you do, or is there like a padded room around there with my name on it, with a door open, wait for me to walk in?
Okay. Anything similar to him doing a pattern shoveling his driveway?
Lawn cutting. You got to do the same lawn cutting.
I was about to say that. Growing up, we had a number of lawns around the house I had to keep track of, and I was monotonous and then cutting the same pattern every darn time I went out to mow the lawn every weekend, every Saturday morning. So I'm with you there. Yeah.
It doesn't seem like you do it anymore. Ryan would have staff to do that, I would think.
Yes.
Ryan's not cutting anybody's grass. Ryan's not cutting any grass anymore.
Well, the thing
Ryan lives too good of a life. Yeah, he's not going to waste any of this goddamn good time chasing women and all the shit he does when he cutting grass. Like that.
To help clarify,
grass, he's chasing women now.
Yeah.
To help clarify, my yard is not that big these days, but it is hilly and mountainous a little bit, and I only have a one-car garage, and so I don't even have enough room in my one-car garage to put trucks in there.
He'd like to do it, folks. He'd like to do it, folks, but he has to hire.
I don't have enough room for power tools or any of that.
The power tools don't fit.
Manual labor stuff.
It's not his fault. It's not his
fault.
Then
it's also convenient that one of my
Mercedes doesn't fit in the garage. Then
one of my best friends has a landscape company, and he's very partial to whiskey, so we have a nice trade going back and forth. So it works out well.
Oh.
Yes, I should have figured. McNew, you look like you had something. Yeah.
So, not like that, but I walk Saint every day, and we walk through the neighborhood, and I do my Run Keeper app while we're going. So it traces your pattern, right? And I noticed that, and the way we go, always, because we have all these cul-de-sacs in our neighborhood, it always looks like a dick when we're done, and I think it's hilarious because I'm a 12-year-old boy.
Is that a subconscious thing going on there, McNew?
Different today.
You can share the walk, and it looks like a dick.
Every time. Every time.
Do you then post that to the internet?
No, because it's my neighborhood. I don't want people to see where my neighborhood is.
You appreciate the city planner on that one, the neighborhood designer on that one, because
we usually go the same way every day, but I've trailed back some other streets where I'm it's always going to look like a dick when we get back to the house.
Next level planning there. I really appreciate that guy.
It's hilarious. Makes me laugh.
McNew, so you're saying you think you're so popular that if you posted your neighborhood, you would get some stalkers there from the old.
Oh yeah, of course.
There's some weird fucking people out there.
Yes.
Oh well. Yeah. One time someone took something to the to UPS, and it was they were shipping it to McNew, and they said, "Wait a second, we don't ship booze," and they're like, "This isn't booze," and they're like, "Well, it's to McNew, so we have to figure it's booze." That happened. And by the way, it was booze in there. They were right. This person was busted.
It wasn't barbecue sauce?
No.
God. Steve, today, somebody I used to date reached out and he was like, when I miss you, I listen to the Bourbon Daily. I was like, what the fuck? It was out of the blue. I have not spoken to this person in years. It's like, when I miss you, I listen to the Bourbon Daily. I was like, thanks for the download.
When I miss you. Yes. When I miss you. And that works other than the episodes where she drops off and she's not on there. So, yeah.
Yes. You can't wait for the fish show. It's not it.
Yeah, the fish show, you're not getting McNew. So, yeah. I'm trying to think. I don't think I have anything like that. I mean, I'm methodical in the way I edit the show.
I've got a problem.
I cut my own grass, but I don't, and it shows. I mean, it shows I don't have a pattern. I mean, I just whatever I'm feeling that day, that's how I do it.
You're just cutting dicks in your front yard.
Yeah, So I do that. When I edit the shows, I have a system. I mean, I look for the cork pops. That's what I look for. So that's easy to tell in the audio. You can see the file, and then McNew. We got two different announcers. So we'll take a quick break, and then when we come back, we'll talk about this, and then McNew picks it up immediately. So it's hard to know when that cut is. And then, but Becca lives you in the nice buffer. She lives you in the nice buffer.
Do you want me to pause? You want me to do like some weird
pause?
Yeah.
It makes it easy to do.
Tactical pause. That's a pro tip.
Or something.
Everything I complain about ultimately gets worked out on the shows. Like I'm complaining about Jim not yelling, not coming to help me in a timely manner. McNew, I've used the show already to correct several things in my life. So it's good. How you do things.
I will say, I'm sure there are people, my engineer friends out there, like Dave Ewalds and some of our folks out there are probably thinking the same thing I am. I'll leave you with this one. My high schooler did a project saying, Dad, I can figure out the most efficient way to do this. And then I ended up doing it the way his project determined. He did all that work. He's like, how'd you know to do it that way? And it said, I'm like, son, it's called experience. In other words, I said it so many times, I finally figured out the right way to do it.
Yeah.
Whole math equation, did the whole thing, and he's like, "Yeah, you do. You're about spot on to be able to do this the right way in the least amount of time." I'm like, "Well, proud dad moment there."
Wisdom comes with age, there, Tim. Yeah. Wisdom comes with age.
Being an old guy helps sometimes. So there you go. Well, guess what, gang? It's time to drink. What is everyone drinking? Let's start with Ryan.
Well, I think we're just going to stick with a theme here, and it'll continue as we get into the topic, but. We're just going to throw it down to my good friends down there in Denver, the Leopold Brothers. The American small batch whiskey here. So
okay. No, nothing.
Not bad for me. Not bad.
That was absolutely terrible.
It was silent.
I know it's not bad though.
The grade was F. F. It wasn't F minus, so to your credit. So there you go.
And F minus even.
Yeah. McNew, what do you got?
I have some Hotel Tango out of Indianapolis.
Okay. All right. McNew, I got word today. I don't know if you know this distillery or not. We're going to be doing a barrel pick at Bear Wallow.
Oh, yeah. They're in Brown County. It's real cute.
I heard they're fantastic. Yeah.
So I actually haven't had their bourbon. They started with like flavored moonshines and stuff, and I have not been down there in a few years, but it's a cute little distillery.
They do their own whiskey. It's they're not sourcing and they make it, and they do barrel picks. So,
just down the road from Hard Truth.
Hard Truth. Yeah. Well, there you go. All right, Tim, what do you got?
I'm probably going to perform just like Ryan, but there's also, I'm working through some of my rums, and this is a Lost Cask 22-year-old Barbados from Rolling Fork.
Oh, nice.
And we know that
rum too.
Turner and Jordan's cork pop sucks, so we'll give this a try.
Yeah. McNew's got the lead. I also have a rum.
For the record, that was worse than mine.
It was bad. Yeah.
It was bad.
I mean, I would nothing to be proud of, but yes. Okay, fair enough. I have Ron
Limp is still limp.
Ron Azalco. So here we go. Oh, that's enough. Ooh. That's enough. It wasn't my best effort, but today for this show, it's enough. So
not bad. Cheers, guys.
All right. We'll take a quick break, and then when we come back, we're going to be talking about some interesting people from the world of bourbon. We'll do that in just a few. Let's talk about the people who make these shows happen. First up is the ABV Barrel Shop. It is the most unique shopping experience in the world of bourbon, as the ABV Barrel Shop only sells single barrels. Owners Steve Akeley and Jim Fosnot select. With over 100 distilleries on board to sell us barrels, we are home to the most unique and diverse barrel pick selections in the bourbon world. By signing up for our email, you will always know what we have in stock. In addition to the single barrels, we'll have a gift shop featuring ABV Barrel Shop as well as ABV Network merchandise. We are partnering with vendors like Art Eatables and Old Man Bay Signs to bring you unique items you can't find anywhere else. We will also have a 24-seat classroom where we are offering educational and fun classes like Breakfast and Bourbon, a series where we pair donuts and bourbon, customer barrel picks, and opportunities to learn from master distillers and other bourbon dignitaries. Best of all, we feature a tasting bar where you can try before you buy. All of this is located in the St. Louis metro community of Arnold, Missouri. If you are in the St. Louis area, please stop by to say hi. If you're traveling in from outside the area, please take advantage of our hotel rates with the Drury Inn and Pear Tree Inn, less than a mile from our shop. This can be done via the links in our Visit St. Louis section on our website. Head over to abvbarrelshop.com to plan your trip. The ABV Barrel Shop. It's where single barrels live. Hi, this is Steve Akeley, owner of the ABV Network. We're sponsored by the Stave and Thief Society. This is where you, a bourbon enthusiast, can expand your knowledge and emerge a bourbon steward. In 2017, I completed my Executive Bourbon Steward certification. It's the most comprehensive bourbon certification program available and connects you with an expansive network of bourbon enthusiasts and professionals. Check out the full listing of in-person and online certifications and join the society today by enrolling at staveandthief.com. Okay, let's talk about the Neely Family Distillery. In 2018, I met Royce Neely at an industry event. He started appearing on our shows, and we became friends during my frequent trips to Kentucky. Today, he is amongst the leaders of young distillers leaving their mark on the bourbon industry. A visit to Neely Family Distillery yields insight on their unique family history, why their products are special, and gives you the opportunity to taste their whiskey, moonshine, and creams. Check them out at NeelyFamilyDistillery.com or visit them in Sparta, Kentucky.
This is Kathy Cole. You're listening to the Bourbon Daily.
Welcome back to the Bourbon Daily. Today we're talking about interesting people in bourbon.
Yes, we are. Who do you guys think are some interesting people from the world of bourbon?
Well, I'll lead it off here. Okay. One of the reasons I started with the old Leopold brothers is because I actually had a chance to go down to Denver and hang out at the old Leopold brothers distillery this past week, and got to hang out and pick Todd's brain a little bit down there. And he's always been on. I've always looked up to what he's doing at their distillery, and he sure enough, he didn't disappoint. We hung out for about an hour and a half, 2 hours or so. And man, he's as interesting as they get out there. I think he's been in the business for 24 years. And I tell you what, they're keeping the Sherman brothers busy over there at Vendome. They had, I don't know, 7, 8 still, something like that going on there, which is pretty cool to see.
Right.
Yeah, he was just a great time to talk to, a great dude to pick his brain a little bit on a couple things. And we just had a great time there. So he's right up there on my list to start out.
I agree. He's kind of, maybe from the craft world, a national treasure. I mean, he really is. I mean, He brings a lot and I don't think he gets the kind of credit he deserves. And I'm not exactly sure why. I'm not sure why he isn't like one of the most beloved figures. And I don't know. Is it just because he's Colorado versus Kentucky? I don't know. I don't know why he's not just so highly regarded. He's kind of, he's not out there.
Personality though, Steve. Right. Yeah. He's such a humble person. The whole family is. I mean, when I talk about like the forefathers or some of these folks in the craft distillery, Dave Pickerel's up there. Todd Leopold's in that conversation too as well right now. Yeah. In my opinion, he's up there when one of those folks, to your point, Ryan, 24 years in the business, what he's done from a historical perspective on learning the craft and the breadth of products that they're creating over there. Yeah. The brandies, so everything else that they got going on. It's very interesting what he's given to the industry.
It's
and
interesting
what he allows to
to hear his take too, because he knows he's out there on some of the things he's doing, and he knows that people are going to be critical of him, and he's okay with that. To me, and some of our distillery friends, if people are ripping them online, they want to be combative. It's hard for them and Todd Leopold, to his credit, is like, hey, they haven't had this before. They just don't, it's not used to it. And I look at the criticism, and then I see maybe there are some things I could do better. I don't know. He's a pretty special guy. He really is.
Yeah, he sure is. I was really impressed there, and it's great to I guess check that box to go down and meet him and see his operation. And we had a great tour guide, a guy named Alex, that's been working with him I think for 5 years now. Showed us all around, and they opened up the doors, and they were an open book, so we just had a great time there. Couldn't not a bad word to say about them at all. So that was great.
Okay. Who else do we like? Who else is interesting?
I think Aaron, I don't know his last name, from Smoke Wagon. So he's always like out driving classic cars through the desert. Like the man lives his best life. And,
he's the Nevada Jason Bronner. Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Very well said. Yes.
I know. Everything about him
exactly right.
Reminds me of Bronner. It's Eastern and Western Bronner. Well, choose your Bronner.
Can you imagine these two meeting?
I know.
Oh my God.
It'd be fantastic. Yeah.
I think he's just fascinating. Like he just has a damn good time, and he makes great whiskey.
Yeah.
Blends great whiskey.
Yeah. Tim, who do you think?
So we covered Colorado. I think we go to Texas and the Licorice family down at Iron Roots.
Yeah.
What they're doing and putting out there is interesting. And then I'm gonna throw one more out there. He's about where Adam Stumpf was about 3 years ago, and that's Demetrius Kane.
Sure. Yeah. I agree. I agree. Demetrius Kane is on the rise quickly. He is really doing some amazing things. And, we got to go and taste barrel pick, taste 12 barrels for the pick, and then a bunch of other stuff that he's just, it's fun when you're with the distiller and they're like, you got to try this, and take you over to a barrel and you try this. And then, wait, come over here. Let me show you something I was working on a couple of years ago. So cool stuff. Yeah. And you talk about an interesting dude. Wait till he's in the St. Louis whiskey movie we'll have coming out over the summer, and his story is going to blow people away.
His stories are insane, where it's like, I don't even think a fiction writer could write these, and they're all true.
I know. It is just crazy, the stuff that he has done and is doing, and all kinds of stuff. So yeah,
I don't know. If he was in Kentucky, everybody know about him.
Yeah,
but again, like Adam, because he's not in Kentucky.
Right.
Unless you know.
Yeah.
It's a shame.
Yeah.
But that's our for our benefit, because we know.
Yeah, I agree. Here's one I want to throw out, and I don't know, maybe it's too obvious, and maybe this is, but I tell you what, she draws you into her world, and whether it's the whiskey stuff or whether it's her personal life, and that's Jackie Zykan. She is without a doubt one of the most fascinating people from the world of bourbon. She does a great job of blending her professional and her personal life and putting them together, but she also maintains enough of her private life where everything's not just out there either. I don't know. She's doing it better than the rest of us, I feel. So, yeah.
I agree.
Yeah. So she's definitely a special one for sure.
We could probably sit here for the next 5 hours talking about all the interesting people in the business, right? There's so many fun personalities, and man, that's one of the reasons I love the business. So,
yeah, well, anybody else?
I want to throw out Lisa Wicker, because she's also kind of private, but it's always like, where's Lisa? What's Lisa doing? Because she just went on this huge fishing trip, and she's back in Kentucky. And I don't know, that's like a girl crush. I've always just loved her so much. And I'm almost like, what's Lisa doing? What's her project? Where's she working? Because she bounces around a little bit. And I think
she does.
It's fun to follow.
Yeah. She's had, big jobs, but she's also done, side projects and consulting and, helping out with the Washington distilling project and all that kind of stuff. I mean, she does a little bit of everything, which is, again, fascinating. When you're talking about fascinating people, she's fascinating for sure.
Yep.
Throwing Elizabeth McCall there too as well. Look at that big name in lights now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see what they allow her to do over at Woodford.
Yes. Yeah. I heard some people saying, well, she's new and we won't see what she's doing for years. That's not true. She's been in a distilling role for 10 years in a leadership position. I think it's like when Freddie No jumps in at Jim Beam. It's not like, okay, well, we'll have to wait down the road. No, Freddie No's already doing things because he was working on things behind the scenes before he ever had the cool title. And that's the same with Elizabeth. She's going to have stuff coming out that she actually was the lead on. And we'll get to enjoy those. We don't have to wait now 5 years. The clock doesn't start ticking for 5 or 6 years until right. We see her stuff. It's already going to be happening, which is cool. Yeah. So that's awesome. Who else is interesting?
Stephen Fonte, like that man could read the phone book. He's just entertaining, like start to finish, like always on. I love anytime we run into Fonte.
Yes, yeah, he is a character. He definitely is. He when he has the stage, and I'm not talking about like a big group presentation. I'm talking about when he has like 4 people around him and he's telling whatever it is. He's pitching his brand. Yeah, I mean,
it's the story. Like, it's right. Always entertaining.
He brings the same passion if he had 40,000 people and he was in front of a stadium, of people. That's just how he is. So yeah, he's definitely an interesting guy. One more I want to throw out there, just because he gets overlooked on all of our stuff. We try to sometimes we even disqualify him just because he's so great. And that's Jimmy Russell. The fact there's nobody like it. There's nobody to compare him to. I mean, even if you go back, somebody as cool as like a Jim Rutledge. Jimmy Russell goes back, all the way back to the 50s, right. in the bourbon business. So he has no contemporaries, and the people that he learned from. When you're talking about Jimmy Russell, you've got people going back to, maybe the 1800s that were at the tail end of their career. That when Jimmy was getting started, it's just almost amazing to think about it. It's almost mind-blowing, the fact that this guy's still into bourbon. He still has the title. He still goes to the distillery all the time. Now he's not hands-on working a still like he did. He's signing autographs in the gift shop, but that's cool. He's a bridge between years past and really, and he's seen it all. I mean, he's gone from a bourbon boom to bourbon being totally out of favor to being the biggest bourbon boom we've seen. It's hard to believe. So
that's certainly a living legend right there, isn't he? So yeah,
pretty special.
Can't argue that.
Pretty special.
If you're throwing Jimmy Russell out there, you want to talk about bringing heritage back and telling some forgotten stories. Let's talk about Jerry Dalton now. Let's throw that name out there, getting reintroduced back into the whole situation here. You want to talk about somebody who's been away doing what he needed to do, and then Steve, you turning that light on there with that film you just made.
Yeah, it is kind of fun. I'm
sure this audience has listened to it yet, but the new listeners out there that are just joining, or just as this community continues to expand, take the time to learn some history and know where we came from, because that story just needs to be told.
Yeah. Jerry Dalton has gotten largely overlooked, but we do have his movie out there. It's actually in the description of this. I have it in the description of all the Bourbon Dailies right now. I'll keep it in there for a while. So, check it out. It's a free movie to watch. There's no excuse not to watch it. If you like bourbon, you like bourbon history, you like learning about new people. And this guy was, kind of hidden from the bourbon world, and it explains that in the film why that's the case. And we were trying to get him into the Hall of Fame, and I don't know whether that'll happen or not, but. What's cool is Jerry, has been able to see the legacy that he has, the fact that people do care, whether it's just fans or people from the bourbon industry, being able to put that movie together, I think is pretty darn cool. So very happy about that. So
yeah, that was great.
Yep. On that note, we'll wrap this one up as we always do by talking about where people can find us. We will start with Tim. Tim, where can people find you?
You can find me on Instagram at SwyGuy2112.
Ryan.
Across all socials at 10th MTN Whiskey, and our website's 10thwhiskey.com. That's 10th, whiskey with an E.
McNew.
I'm on Instagram at McNew ABV.
All right. For me, I'm an easy guy to find. I'm at Steve Akeley on Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook. I've got a website, steveakeley.com. Of course, we've got the company website. That thing's abvnetwork.com. That's the one you got to check out. Everything that we do is out there. Previous shows, blogs, so much more. abvnetwork.com. And please come by and see us at the ABV Barrel Shop, where we're picking barrels, having some fun, talking whiskey. You can try before you buy. abvbarrelshop.com, St. Louis suburb of Arnold, Missouri. Check us out. McNew, anything else to say before we get out of here?
I would like to remind the audience to please give us a 5-star review. That includes comments. It helps new people find the show, which is very important to us. And if you like what we're doing, we ask that you please visit our Patreon page at patreon.com/the ABV Network.
Great job today, gang. For audience, we'll have a brand new show for you tomorrow. Looking forward to that. Until then, take care, everybody. See ya.
Bye.
See you guys.
Peace. Before we finish the show, let's talk about some great companies that support the ABV network. First up is Moonshine Still Pro. Moonshine Still Pro has a full line of products to help the home distiller. Whether you want to experiment on the stove in your kitchen or you're looking for a bigger setup in your backyard, owner Russell Creed and his team can help. They have multiple still offerings, accessories, and even grain from their partners at Goldstone Mill to assist you in making whiskey on par with your favorite distillery. They can also help you with some fabricated parts you probably can't make yourself if you are attempting a DIY still project. Learn more or order your still or parts at moonshinestillpro.com. Last but not least is the ABV Barrel Shop. While we don't get to play in the allocated bourbon game because we aren't selling the other products you have to do to get those, we do have access via our friendships in the bourbon industry to some really cool stuff. Have you ever seen your favorite craft distiller selling some really cool limited offerings only in their gift shop? I'm talking things like the hazmat offering Distillery 291 did for their 10th anniversary, or Neely Family Distillery's Papaw's birthday barrel. They don't have enough of it to send it out to distributors, so they only sell it via their gift shop. Well, companies like Distillery 291 and Neely Family Distillery have agreed to sell us 2 or 3 cases of these offerings moving forward, meaning our store will have the access to some of the rarest whiskeys in the world. Way more difficult to come by than the allocated bourbon offerings with the national release. Yes, they will be extremely tough to come by, but if you're a customer of our store, you'll have a chance to get them. Get signed up for our email or text list over at abvbarrelshop.com so you don't miss out.
The Bourbon Daily is part of the ABV Network. For more information or to become a sponsor, please visit abvnetwork.com. Thanks for listening and cheers.
This has been a Steve Akeley production.